My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and my identity stolen and given the name of twin Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married at Childers. Peggy and Carl, the twins, were both dead. They were killed by their mother, and I'm telling you the truth here. Carl, they killed him. Didn't even have a doctor when they buried him in a box there in the cemetery, but it was in the winter. They were born in 38, and the birth date when they brought me down there and gave me her name was January the 7th of 39. So I put this up on the other YouTubes, state of Alabama, when I finally had to get the birth certificates, because that's the name I still have to use. Well, the state of Alabama, because it was different in the year that they were born and the date that I had been given when I was placed there and grew up with was different, then they marked through the date of birth for the twins because it was different, and just inked in above it January the 7th, which is the date I have to use. Even that's illegal. Everything they have done, and I'm talking about more than once they've almost killed me. There are suits, if I could have gotten them filed in court, they would take down a bunch of medical facilities. Oh my goodness, it's unreal if this is ever told or prosecuted about what's happened to me. But I wanted to put this because I pretty much tried to put it up on YouTube because a friend gave me that. Because the last attorney I had was he was a former district attorney in Fulton County, Atlanta, and his name was Eugene Kaiser. And he filed suit against he's a doctor there in Atlanta, and there's a gag order or a seal put on it, just like was put on my father, 99-year seal. You get into seals or gags there's seals and addendums in this whole stuff. But anyway, this man should have been prosecuted and locked up in jail, and I don't know, I understand I was told what he did to a couple of patients. Anyway, one of them was a teenager, Cindy. But I wanted to get to this because I was flown out at Flint's. I wrote a book about mind control and murders. Rosina and Matthews and, oh my goodness, suddenly I'm forgetting her husband. It's not Matt. Rosina. Well, both of them were forensic pathologists at Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, and they were gunned down, prosecuted by Cobb County DA Buddy Darden and Tom Sharon. And one of them that gunned down the Matthews was hypnotized, and that was brought out in court. But now that I wanted to get to this, I wrote a book about them. They were cases in it. Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, whose plane went down. I was flown out to Flint's in '83, October twice. And I'll just be redundant on some of it, and the video will go off. Mr. Flint had been shot in Lawrenceville, March the 6th of '78. And the person that shot him was programmed to shoot him and kill his attorney. Anyway, these are lists of mind control murders. And this is the other thing that goes back to the Tesla files. They can create an illness or cure it. And they can also program people to commit, well, what looks like suicide. They aren't really, they're programmed to. It's the person that's giving and doing the programming or agencies that are the ones that are really doing the murders and everything. But in what's happened to me, everybody, it seems, along the trail I've been on have gotten a whack at me, and that's putting a cute little word on it. What I wanted to say about this was I have an immune disorder, and I can't be around in close quarters with toxic fumes or my immune system attacks itself, and I get really sick. And over time, the mass inflammation, if I'm exposed to it very much, will, and it has, cause organ damage like liver, lungs, veins, kidneys. I said lungs, didn't I? Kidneys. And anyway, you get the gist, and I can hardly walk now at all because of the inflammation. I wanted to get this in here if I could. And this is just the places I've been that were HUD, low income, because I've been kept without any funds hardly. And I'm older, so I can't go out and get a job at, like other people can. I can't even get around hardly. But this is what I wanted to say. I got in at Edinburgh Village as a retirement in '06. And I stayed there 6 months, and my illness is used against me. It's illegal, and they're getting into a conspiracy, and it's assault with intent. You wouldn't put a bee in the room with someone who's allergic to bee; it might kill them. You wouldn't give somebody peanut butter if you knew it was going to kill them or could. So this is exactly what they've done. My life's been a living hell, and over the years of being treated like that and being force-fed them deliberately, it's taken its toll on me. Other than it's a life of hell, and I should live normally. When I'm away from it, I feel better. So I won't go any further. I wanted to get this on. They soaked me in chemicals while I was there, and you will not get one of these people unless you get them up under the threat of perjury to tell the truth, and then you get into it. And I've put papers and stuff up too to show what happened. But I wanted to get into Richfield. This is after I went there after Edinburgh, and then I went to Joseph's Dream over in Bedford, and the last one was Scott Hill Apartments, and I could get it on the video there. They actually had black mold, and I left and went back, and they were supposed to fix it. They didn't, and I got so many videos of it. It was ridiculous, but it's what it does to me, and I'm having to break leases, and that doesn't look good for me. Nobody wants to hear all this. But out at Richfield, I was just looking at this one. It was beautiful out there. Most of it is expensive, but they had one unit that was for low-income HUD. So I was gotten into there. I managed to stay 3 months is all I could handle it. I was so sick. And I tried, believe me, because it was pretty there. Well, I had to leave, and I'm just going to read you this, and I've got more. Allison Sanford was the where I was at the time, and it's put me into people that should be prosecuted. Me going back a second time because I'm put in this position of having to beg for a place to live and pay for it, but it has to be HUD for me to afford it. But I was just looking at this. I've been made to look like the liar, the thief, treated like the worst criminal when I'm not the one that's committed the crime. I'm the victim in this mess. But this was signed by Allison, and evidently she's an assistant manager now. This was back, I forgot what the date was. It's Ridgecrest Apartments in Salem. Richfield's the name of it. But this is just one of like the others. Only here I couldn't get photographs of what happened. But now she's been, this is a few years ago that this letter I had to go and ask again. I almost begged to get in, humble yourself. And she said here, if at some future date you feel that your situation has changed sufficiently for you to be admitted, please contact us again. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have about our requirements. Your application will be kept in our inactive file. Okay, I even had them because they're supposed to give you if the credit wasn't good. Well, that with HUD, that's not it anyway. But that wasn't it. It came back when she sent the report that they had no anything on file. and I just passed a background. This is kind of odd if you ever get the crimes that have been committed against me of having to have background checks, beg people who should be locked up for a place to live who are committing the crimes themselves. And I want to say this, Allison, that I emailed her back. You know what she put on my emails? I'm just trying to get a place to live. She put